right, so I have you both here now, okay? So post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live, all right? Post a 2 below. Remember, I have my computers side by side. Post a 2 below if you are an oldie but goodie, okay? So, hi, Kristen. Okay, yes, I can see you guys. Yes. Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, so I see people hopping on over here. Make sure you guys say hello. Post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. I want to see the new people, all right? And post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie, okay? So tonight, I'm a little sad because we're ending the red flag, green flag, but we're not done with the reading series at all, okay? Look, I have all these flyaways. I got my hair blown out today and colored. What do you guys think? I got the blonde going for summer. Okay, so I'm excited to end the red flag, green flag, red flag, however you want to say it. And then we're going to move on, like I said, to the meat and potatoes of the science of reading, okay? This is, one of my favorite subjects to talk about, and I'm really excited to continue moving forward within this reading series because I'll tell you, it has made such a difference in my IEP meetings. No joke, guys. All right? And the kids have gotten so many different things just by bringing up the science of reading. But you got to know your stuff, okay? You have got to know your stuff. You have to be able to back it up and be able to actually correct them if they're wrong, okay? So make sure you are good to go there, okay? So I'm really excited also because we're going to start a really good portion of the meat and potatoes, all right, tomorrow, and I'm excited to get that going with you. I have, a story to tell you. I have some examples to give you. I think a big thing that you guys will like is, learning about the technicalities, if you will, of reading, because it's not what you and I most likely learned, So when we grew up, we did structured literacy. I'm saying we, but if you're anywhere near my age, try to guess my age. Go ahead, post it below. And we'll get going with more in-depth stuff. But I will leave you before I get started with a quote that I find is very good, okay? It was from Abraham Lincoln. He said, "Upon the subject of education, I can only say that I view it as the most important subject which we as people can be engaged in." And this is in regards to reading, okay? So the science of reading, okay, and it's, kind of headed these days with evidence for a new era of reading instruction, okay? So lots to come tomorrow, All right, another quote I will kind of leave you with. Make sure you guys over here on the page share this. The attainment of reading skills has fascinated psychologists and invited more study than any other aspect of human cognition due to its social importance and complexity. All right. So that is a quote, and in regards to the science of reading, there's a lot. Oh my gosh, there's so much more. You guys are going to have so much fun with this series because you're going to learn so much, not just for your kids, but for yourselves as well. I know I did, when I went through the training, and then, I had to put together this series, right? So in using my training as a certified Orton Gillingham direct one-to-one therapist, and then also trained in the science of reading. And no, I don't do it with kids anymore. I do it with my own child, and that's why I got it in the first place, if you will. But it's made such a difference. So understanding it, understanding what it means, and understanding the fact that your kids' lives will change in the educational setting the quicker you get them using the science of reading methodologies in their programs. They need to get rid of the curriculums that they're doing now that are not working, and they need to bring in the science of reading and what works, okay? And they have to be shooken up about this, all right? It's kind of like, you're like shaking them and say, what is wrong with you? Because they don't want to bring in new curriculum because God forbid it costs money, right? So wouldn't want to do that to the district. They just get a couple little bits of funds and a budget, but we wouldn't want them to spend money on our kids, now would we? All right. So for those of you who don't know me, welcome. My name is Raven Woods. I'm the CEO and founder of Autism Mama Rocks IEP, and I help parents gain the knowledge and the confidence to become the CEO of their IEP meeting. I know you East Coasters, all right? It's like 9:54 here, and I don't normally go live this late. I apologize, okay? But for the California people, they're really in heaven right now because I'm going live in the evening there. But hopefully you guys, if you don't catch me live, you catch the replay, and I hope you enjoy it, okay? So again, post a 1 below if it's your first or third time catching me live. Thanks, Erin. And post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. All right? So let's get started. So we're summing it up. We're going to cover reading comprehension, writing, handwriting, spelling, composition, and then assessment, and we're done, okay? So we should be able to get through this quick. Hey, Kristen. All right. So green flag, the foundation. And so green flag, for those of you who are just joining us, okay, green flag is aligned with the science of reading. Red flag is not, okay? So the foundation for reading comprehension is built through rich reading aloud experiences before children are able to read independently. Okay? So red flag says the foundation for reading comprehension emphasizes strategy instruction in text before children are able to read independently. All right, you see the difference? Yeah? Green flag, emphasis on direct teaching. You hear that word? Direct teaching. All right? Of comprehension strategies via gradual release. Okay, so that's like 1 step, and then 2 steps, and then 3 steps, and then 4 steps, and then you get to where you're going. But you get to understand what each step means, okay? Versus cram it all in and take the test. Cram it all in and take the test. That is called memorization, and that's what a lot of schools and districts and classrooms are doing. Okay. I'll tell you, I received from my school district assessment that my daughter took. It was the STAR assessment. And on the top of the assessment, it said redo. So I was kind of, wondering what the heck that was. What do you mean redo? What did she redo? So of course I questioned it, and come to find out, the reading instructor had Skylar redo a reading test that she did not do good on so that I would see a better score. All right. So you have to be careful. I have a client. All right. Today she got a message. All right. And the message said, hey, why is your son not here? I was going to observe him, all right, during his free time. So it's like a free period. She's in California, and her son, he starts school at 12, and it's like 12 to 3, 12 to 4, something like that. And then, in the morning is when, there's that extra teaching, if you will. And so what was interesting is all of a sudden I get involved and you want to go to his classroom and observe him. It's online because California is still pretty much online. And so mom messages me right away and says, what do you want me to do? What should I say? And all my parents know that I respond to the emails. And so I emailed back and I said, what doesn't make sense if you never, ever have observed this child, all right? They said, to see the progress in reading. Well, what makes you think that you're observing progress? What makes you think that the child has made progress? Why do schools say that so much? Have you noticed that? That they'll never say, hey, I want to see how your child's doing. They'll say, we want to know, we want to observe your child's progress, assuming there's such thing. Okay? So what makes them think that the child's made progress? Same thing like when they predetermine, when they predetermine ESY, pisses me the hell off. Okay? They cannot predetermine ESY. They can't. Okay? If ESY is checked no. Okay? If ESY is checked no, you need to say something. It needs to either say NA or it needs to say to be determined. Okay? It is not allowed to say yes or no unless your child always has gotten it and it's kind of just, okay, your child's going to get it, because it's obviously, there's a history with it, right? Well, a no is assuming that the child is just going to continuously make progress. There's going to be no reason for the child whatsoever to have ESY, and nobody can do that. You can't do that, and they can't do that. Okay? So if there's a no in ESY or checked in ESY on your IEP, you get it removed. All right. So emphasis for red flag. Remember we said emphasis on direct teaching of comprehension for, all right, green flag. And strategies via gradual release of responsibility. I do, we do, you do. All right. Write that down. I do, you do, we do. All right. So I do it. I demonstrate and model it for you. You do it. And then we do it together. All right. And that is amazing, amazing, amazing way to learn. And children pick things up quick. They really, really do. All right. So red flag emphasizes more on independent reading, book choice, no evidence of direct teaching of comprehension strategies. Okay. So materials for comprehension, this is green flag. Materials for comprehension instruction include sufficiently complex literary, all right, literary and informational texts, okay? And red flag materials for comprehension instruction are predominantly leveled text and repetitive pattern text. Repeat, 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 repeat. What happens? Oh, I memorized it. You memorize something, all right? And you're going to be able to do it, and then you're going to forget it, okay? And that's not what we want our kids to do. IDEA states that we're supposed to be molding our kids, in my words, okay? It's said differently on IDEA, but basically molding our kids to be productive adults, okay? As best as possible, in the best way possible. All right, that can be daily living, that can be, that they can handle money, that could be whatever it is, we are supposed to be helping them become productive adults in any which way possible, okay? And so in doing that, how important is reading and math and writing? Very important. So it's essential to basically have a microphone to your mouth and shout out that this has to change. All right. There's too many children struggling with reading to let this go. Am I right? So those of you who are dropping in, all right, I got the group over here, the page over here. Post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. Hey, Lorena. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. All right, tell me who you are, where you're from, and if you're catching the replay, please do that too, okay? All right, so moving on to writing. All right, so see how writing and reading go together, and also speech. Speech, speech, speech. All right, they are linked. All right, if your child can't talk, more than likely they're not going to be able to read. They have to learn how to talk, and if they can't talk, they're just physically unable to talk, they can still learn how to read. All right? And that is, certain children, it's a mutism or it's an impact of their disability, whatever the case may be, they still can read with assistive technology, with different things that are given to them. All right? And, but more than likely, when a child learns language, they have to be able to recognize those words. So whether they're speaking or they're not speaking, they have to be able to recognize words. Okay? So green flag. There is explicit instruction. Have you noticed that green flag, it's always about explicit instruction. All right? Related to letter formation, posture, grip, and opportunities for cumulative practice. Remember, I do, you do, we do. Okay? That is the way in which success happens. You model something for a child, then you allow them the opportunity to do it themselves. Right, wrong, or just not perfect. You allow them to do it themselves. And then we do it together, all right? And then you do it again, and again, and again, and again. And they are going to learn, okay? They are. Hi, Cheryl. How are you? Hi, Anissa. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Sarah. Welcome, welcome. Make sure you guys share this. All right. So handwriting, this is green flag. Handwriting instruction utilizes lined paper that guides letter formation. All right. I'll give you an example. My daughter, a couple years ago, had large lines in her paper. All right. So it was, it wasn't, the kindergarten kind of lines where it's the line and then the dot, 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 dot. And it wasn't that one, but it was still bigger because she wrote bigger. All right. And she had to take her time, as many of you know. That's a big deal. Our kids want to rush and get it done, or they don't want to do it at all. All right? So it's important to teach them to really just take a deep breath and write as best as they can, because really, honestly, the goal with writing is letter recognition, understanding what you're reading so that you can put it down on paper, all right? Or you're able to write something of what you want someone else to know, and you have to have the ability to recognize those words and letters and sounds and so forth, okay? So, red flag, there is no direct instruction in handwriting, and unlined paper and picture paper are featured. Remember, pictures can be your child's worst enemy. All right? When they're in preschool, PECs and things like that is great. All right? Pictures in general almost fabricate what words could be. All right? Because if your child understands words, they don't need to have a picture. All right? Now, if they're wanting to describe something, all right, I know it sounds easy. I know this is a hard one to comprehend because I had a hard time comprehending. I asked so many questions when I was being trained on this because I could not understand. Like, what do you mean? Pictures are everything. You show them a picture and then they answer the question and, all that kind of stuff. But the thing is it's not the way that they're going to hold on to that information. All right. The picture sways letter recognition, the formulation of words and sounds. All right. And to be able to describe what that word means without seeing a picture. Remember the other day or Friday, I said that if you hold a picture up to a child that is proficient in reading, in accordance to the science of reading, if you hold up a picture of a cat and then you have the word cat written out, their brain is going to process the word cat before the picture cat. And that is what proficient readers can do. And that's where we want our kids to get. There's areas in which pictures are great. All right. For example, math. Math is a great thing to have pictures. All right. But for reading, it is not. It is not a good thing to have. And if you notice in a lot of your goals, I see it all the time. If you look into your goals, you'll realize that a lot of your goals have picture cues. All right. All right. So handwriting instruction is integrated into core reading and writing. This is green flag. Okay. Into core reading and writing instruction. Follows a sequence of letter learning. So red flag is handwriting instruction is treated as an isolated add-on when it is not. All right. So let's move on to spelling. This one's pretty simple. So there's a clear scope and sequence for explicit spelling instruction, closely aligned with phonics, scope, and sequence in K-1. All right. So a red flag would be no evidence of explicit spelling instruction. So remember that word explicit goes with something that is aligned with reading. Hey, Christina, how are you? Thank you. So red flag is patterns in decoding are not featured in encoding spelling. Spelling lists are relatively random. Okay. So composition, green flag. Writing is taught through a gradual release of responsibility. I do, we do, you do. All right. And includes sufficient time for modeling, planning, and brainstorming ideas before drafting. All right. This is as your child goes up the ladder in grade. Okay. Writing prompts. This is red flag. Okay. Writing prompts are provided with little time for modeling, planning, and brainstorming ideas. Remember, it's important to do the I do, you do, we do, and practice and really processing, what these words mean, how to write, how to express what it is that they're understanding, and practice is what's going to get them there. This fast-paced, memorize this, memorize that, look at this picture, tell me what you see, is not them becoming proficient readers. It's not going to help them become proficient readers, and it's definitely not going to help them be proficient writers. Okay? So, another green flag is writing is structured. Models and graphic organizers are provided to support composition and promote executive functioning. All right. So I'm going to say that again. Writing is structured. Models and graphic organizers are provided to support composition and promote executive functioning. Okay. So that is not a picture, but a model of how it should look written down. Okay. So modeling is I would write it and then you see it so that you're able to then mirror what I did. Still the I do, you do, we do. Hi, Myrna. How are you? So red flag is writing is primarily unstructured with few models or graphic organizers. All right. I hope many of you have graphic organizers put into your accommodations because they're great. Okay. So another green flag is writing instruction includes a variety of text types, narratives, informational, and persuasive. Red flag is writing instruction is primarily narrative and unstructured choice. All right, moving on to assessment. So green flag assessments include screening, diagnostic, and progress monitoring, and that's report data collection. All right. And then you have red flag, which is assessments results in benchmarking according to a leveled text gradient. All right. Hi, Kristen. How are you? Hi, BB. Hi, Bill. All right. So listen to what I said. Benchmarks, I'm going to tell you right now, benchmarks suck. All right. Benchmarks are not a proficient way to basically measure how your child's learning. It's what's done. All right. But it's not the best way. And it definitely has a lot of discrepancies. All right. So a green flag is phonics skills are assessed using both real and nonsense words in all syllable patterns. Okay. Red flag is phonics skills are assessed using real words only. All right. So green flag, norm, ORF. Do you guys know what ORF is? Oral reading fluency. Hi, Cheryl. How are you? I think I said hi to you already. So if you're on the group, post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live, a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie, and same to you guys. A 1 below if it's your first third time catching me live, a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. Tell me where you're from, everybody. All right, so oral reading fluency assessments are used. Okay, hey Gina. Myrna says, question, does the school psychologist, in my case, the lead district psychologist, have to give me a copy of her assessment and report before the IEP meeting? Absolutely. And if she doesn't, it is a FAPE violation. It is basically not allowing you to participate as an equal team member. You know what they know, period. All right. You know what they know. You know what they know. You know what they know. If they don't provide you what they know and you go to a meeting, you are not equipped to participate as an equal team member. And I would table that meeting immediately. Okay. Record. Okay. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I had to throw in a big shit fit. I had to put it all in writing, and they violated your parental rights and your rights as an equal team member. You guys got to understand, they are no better than you. You are just as important as they are, if not more important per idea. Okay? So you got to understand, you're the parent. You don't have to be a teacher to know extensively, okay, to the maximum extent about your child. There's nobody that knows them better. I don't care if you sit and watch them with what they're doing with academics or not. Because guess what? More than likely, your gut instincts, moms, dads, grandmas, your gut instincts are more right most of the time statistically than theirs. Think about it. Just think about it for a second. Think about, you know how they say that gut instinct, you know, a mother's instinct. It can be any. Usually it's a woman's thing. Sorry, guys. Okay. But bottom line, even guys have it, but bottom line, we have those gut instincts. We have those gut feelings. Okay. And you need to run with it because it's always right. 99.999% of the time. All right. Okay. So red flag. Normed oral reading fluency assessments are not available. Okay. So a normed assessment results in scores that are norm referenced. Test takers' scores can be compared in relation to how others in that same age or grade. Remember I talked about this in a different live. All right. And how they're performed. So basically, a norm reference, this test is, it's basically, it's hard to say because, some of the best tests like the KTEA, they are norm reference, but you're able to get percentages. You're able to get the standard score. You're able to get all of the different types of data versus just, okay, how did they compare to other children in their age group or in their grade? All right, so you have to be careful of those numbers. All right, you have to know your numbers. All right, what numbers mean what in the assessment? All right, so norm assessments are not available in red flag, and they should be. Like the KTA is amazing. All right, the Y is amazing. Combine them and they're a godsend. Okay, the Whisk, not a fan. And there's tons of others. Okay, I am like a stickler on my assessments. I'm like, this is the one you're doing. This is the one you're doing. This is the one you're doing. And you can do any other one you want, but these are the ones you're doing. And if you don't put it into the PWN, we won't agree. And if we don't agree, then we're gonna have a problem. Then I'm gonna make a complaint, and then you're going to do a whole ton of paperwork, and it's so much better if we collaborate. So you really need to work with me because I'll make you do so much paperwork your head is spin, and so just please do what I'm asking, okay? Because the assessments I'm asking for, I have a reason for them, and the reason for them is something that I can back up with data, all right? So it's what it is, period. I've not been told no yet. I've been fought, but I have not been told no. I've always gotten my way. All right. But let me say, all right, that's not a cocky thing. That is, if I'm asking for something, I know for sure that I got the data to back up what I'm requesting. Just like if you're requesting for something, I can find it, all right? But you have to know what you're going to back that up with and know what their argument's going to be in advance and be prepared to argue it. Be prepared. All right. So, overall instructional design. And we're done. Oh my God. All right. This is the curriculum evaluation tool. Remember, the science of reading follows the simple view of reading. All right. And that is decoding and word recognition multiplied by language comprehension equals reading comprehension. Okay. That's the formula. Okay. So overall instructional design. What is that, right? So green flag, there is a clear and consistent instructional framework. Clear, consistent. Okay. Featuring a comprehensive scope and sequence of foundational skills taught in an explicit system. The system features application of taught skills in real reading and writing. All right? So, red flag, all right? Evidence is must. You are debating a political machine. That's right. Okay, so the instructional framework is primarily a workshop approach. All right, this is red flag in regards to overall instructional design. All right, so the instructional framework is primarily a workshop approach, emphasizing student choice and implicit, incidental, and embedded teaching of foundational skills. All right, so one is based on consistent instructional framework, okay? The other is instructional framework is primarily a workshop approach. So one is aligned, one is not, okay? I want gold changes, but yet he has been on the honor since September. What's the honor? Okay. So, post your questions below. So we just went through, if you haven't seen the red flag, green flag, okay, red flag being not aligned with the science of reading, green flag being aligned with the science of reading. I know possibly to many of you, the science of reading is new. You're like, what is that? I get it. It's something that, should have been out there and put out there way before now. And it has been put out there way before now. But schools don't talk about it. They don't say anything. They don't tell you about it. They don't tell you that, hey, we actually have to follow the science of reading. And, one of the things to keep in mind is many of the scientifically based methodologies that they are using, all right, that most are not working, do not follow the science of reading. So, again, we spoke about this already. There is science and can be science about anything. Okay? You just need one person. Okay? But that does not mean, let's just take Fontes and Pinnell for an example, and the joke of a program and DRA measurement that it is. All right? So if your child's on Fontes and Pinnell, get them the hell off of it as quickly as possible because it's horrid, literally. All right? And you need to make sure that things align with the science of reading. Okay? Structured literacy, amazing. Just make sure who's teaching your child knows how to do it. All right? For example, Orton Gillingham. Wilson-based instruction is followed and like Orton Gillingham, very similar. It's like the sister, okay? So Wilson is great. Orton Gillingham-based structured literacy is amazing. But you have to have, again, it's how your child is taught. So who is key. All right? So that who needs to be very proficient and very effectively and productively trained and have good knowledge and a solid base of what the science of reading is, how to implement the science of reading, and how to help children who are struggling readers and helping them to become proficient readers. Because all kids can learn in some way, shape, or form how to read. All right? For some who have significantly impacted children, your child can still learn if taught the right way. All right? Does that mean that they're going to be reading, 9th grade books? Maybe not. Maybe they will, maybe they don't. But the thing is you can't not try. And if you're going to try, you might as well try in the right way. All right? And get them taught with good foundations and that, I do, you do, we do. Kids thrive off of that. Watching you do something, then they get to do it. Super cool. And then you do it together. Kids love that. All right? Because then it's a we thing and it's not a you thing. Sit down, read your book. Or, hey, let's come do this together. Right? So when we do this together, it's more fun. Where if I say, okay, go read your book, not so fun. Right? So especially, that doesn't mean as kids get to become proficient readers that you're not going to say, hey, go read your book for 5 minutes. But if they're not, you got to include them. You got to put them, in a position that they're going to want to learn. All right? And they're going to try. And they're going to enjoy it. All right? Because if you don't enjoy something, you don't really want to do it. So being part of with them, having that explicit instruction and the modeling of what you're wanting them to do is crucial. Okay? So tomorrow, we're talking about the science of reading, evidence for a new era in reading instruction. All right? So we're going to continue this. We're getting deep into the meat and potatoes. The red flag, green flag was basically giving you the baseline of what the science of reading is all about. All right. Okay. What is aligned and what isn't aligned. Now you're going to get into the meat and potatoes of what it all entails. What does it need to look like? What is it about? What is the science? All of these different things. Okay. Because it's one thing to go and read up on the science of reading. It's another thing to understand it and to actually be able to do it. Okay. And to educate a child when you do it. Okay. So I want you guys to, so you guys on the group, post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. If you're catching the replay, hello. And make sure you go back and listen to series 1 through 4. This one's 5. You guys too, all right? So make sure you share this and make sure you join me tomorrow, both of you, all right, for the real understanding of the era of what the science of reading is about and understanding what we need to do in moving forward. And eventually we're going to get to how you really fight for your kids in the IEP meeting. All right. What are you going to do? How do you bring this up? Are they even going to care? All of those things that you may question. All right. Probably by the end of this, I'm going to bring some of my parents on that I've physically worked with, and have gotten their children, on the right path and with good reading instruction and moving forward. And I'm going to let them talk to you and just, I'll interview them kind of to, get some, questions answered that you guys may have. So that they can really explain to you how this works and how things are actually fought for in an IEP and how, at first they weren't very successful and how things needed to change so that, they were successful and they got their kids what they needed, which is what we all want, right? So as I end here, I am completely booked right now. I've gotten a lot of messages from you guys. So what I'm going to say is, I will hold 4 spots. I always do 4 at a time, if you haven't noticed. I will hold 4 spots, okay? But I will not be able to meet with you until mid to end of May. Now, that is not the end of the world. And the reason for that, as I've said all along, okay, is number 1, those 4 people will get their emails sent out right away, okay? We won't meet till mid to end of May, and then we will work and moving forward. The school will have everything that you're wanting and needing. Things will get started now before the last day of school, and then it will continue the first month of school, and then we will meet with the team. This is the way to do it, okay? Versus, okay, and some of you may be even able to get IEEs over the summer. But the way to do that and why that's successful is because everything, I have schools agree that within the first 30 to 45 days, that IEP will be put in place. All right. So if there's assessments that needed to be done, they do them before 60 days. And if things need to be put into place, we get your records, we get everything. All right. And everything's put into play so that that child has a solid IEP within the first 45 days of school. Versus you start everything in August, September, you don't meet till maybe October, and you don't have an IEP in place until December. You don't want to do that. Don't do that to yourselves. Don't do that to your kids. Okay, so if you're wanting to hire an advocate, I've already, I'm sure those spots will go very, very, very quick. But I want you guys to message me on WhatsApp. I know Erin has posted here on the page. I'm sure she'll go post on the group how to contact me on WhatsApp. It's so much easier than Facebook Messenger because I literally just this past week found 3 messages from people from Facebook Messenger that went to like some spam thing. It was weird. All right. And they had messaged me back in like September and I didn't even see it. So, what if the request has been made and school gets out for summer before it's done? Right. So that's when, we have the schools agree, which is what I was just saying, where they agree that, they'll get everything handled, done, delivered, and we get that IEP on check, on point, and an adequate one in regards to your child's individual needs within the first 30 to 45 days of school, versus not having a meeting till maybe October, things dragging, you know how the school is, and then you not even getting an IEP solid, because we all know we don't agree to them right away. Hopefully you guys don't, and hopefully you review it really well. So what does that mean? That you're not having a solid IEP till Christmas, and our kids already lost a whole year, pretty much. So you don't want to do that. So 4 spots. I will take the first 4 people, and then, you know, we'll push it off from there, but things will keep moving over the summer. Schools are more on top of things now because they know how much compensatory services they're going to be giving. So you're not going to be ignored over the summer if you are persistent and make a change. All right. So if the school's no longer listening to you, I talk to parents about this all the time. If the school's no longer listening to you, it's time to get an advocate. Okay. If they're listening to you and your IEP is on point, and you know that for sure, not according to you, but according to an expert who has looked at your IEP, then cool. But if the school's no longer listening to you, or they're just doing things to appease you, then you need to make a change so that your child's IEP can get on point right now, because they've already lost so much time. Okay? And also, for those of you who don't know, I also have courses. I have a service accommodation and modification course, and I have a big course called Rock the IEP that walks you step by step through the whole IEP process. That's amazing. And you get the services, accommodations, and modifications course for free. Okay? So I will talk to you guys soon. Catch me tomorrow. You're welcome to message me, Marina. I've worked in 41 states so far. Okay, so I will talk to you guys soon. Gina, message me, and we will go from there. And yes, awesome. So go ahead and post the links, Erin, to the course on the page and the group. And Anissa from PA, listen to you lots. Thank you. All right, guys, post your questions below. Message me on WhatsApp if you need me. And Erin will post the WhatsApp information on both the group and the page, and also the course if you're interested, okay? Make sure to message me if you need anything, all right? Have a wonderful rest of your night. Bye-bye.